first year as coaching. Are you enjoying what you're doing, and how has the dynamic of the group changed since you were an analyst to now being on the field and with them day to day?
It's awesome. First I'd like to thank Coach Herman and Brian White for their support in me. Being able to be here at FAU has been a dream come true. Grew up down here, and I love being down here. I love coaching our guys. It's been a great transition. Coach Herman put a lot of faith and trust in me, as well as Coach Rock, and getting to answer to those two guys every day has been awesome. I think our group's really coming up, and really has a chance to make some noise this year, not only in our league but around the country.
And you've kind of got an experienced group of guys that can explain, hey, we've been through this before, to the younger guys, and help you walk through the paces a little bit.
Yeah, no, Chris Jones and Marlon Bradley are both my senior leader veterans. They've both been here for a combined now 11 years, so it's crazy to even say because Marlo was here in 2019. But those two guys have done a phenomenal job, just really taking those guys under their wings, all the new young guys. And then we got some younger guys that haven't played a lot and that are really mature, so I get to coach them like grown men. I don't have to chase them around and worry about what time they're waking up. They've been doing a great job being responsive and answering to our standard.
Go ahead, Frank.
Other than the two veteran guys you mentioned, a lot of new faces in the room. Is it a matter of, I don't want to say breaking maybe bad habits, but molding good habits?
Absolutely. Like, Coach Herman says our way all the time. And a lot of guys came here because they have super raw talent and super underdeveloped. And we took those pieces and we were able to, we're still transitioning and making them into our way. We still have a lot of work to do as far as that goes. But we got guys on the right track. We got guys that believe in the plan that Coach Herman and Coach Rock have set for our defense and really where we want to go as a team.
One of those young guys is Wilkie. I was actually shocked after meeting him and talking to him to see how much football he has left ahead of him.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He's as young as he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really mature guy for still being a teenager.
Yeah, and can you talk a little bit about his progression since you guys connected to now?
Yeah, he got here and it was full steam ahead. He obviously had a relationship with Coach Rock in the recruitment process at Auburn, so I felt like I knew Wilkie when he was able to come because of how highly Coach Rock spoke of him. And when he got here, he's just done everything that we've asked him to do and more. He's going to be a great addition to our team. He's going to really help us win a lot of games this year, and I can't wait to develop him over the next couple of years as well because he's still got a lot of football left in him, a lot of good football.
Like you said about Wilkie, he's got a lot of football left in him, and it appears that he's been wanting to learn how to grow. Pretty much every time we've observed the edge rusher room, Wilkie's always asking questions. How have you really seen just that play out in camp, and how have you seen that play into his progression?
Yeah, like I said, he's still a young guy. Like he acts older, he's more mature. Like he's got a dog, he lives on his own. Like he's like an old man, but he's still a teenager at the end of the day. So and going back to the fact, like he's now been in 2 programs in the span of 12 months, or really 3 programs in the span of 12 months. So the verbiage is all over the place, trying to really narrow down what he needs to know and how he's really got to perform when the time comes. And what I'm trying to do is just make everything easy, concise for all these guys. They're all different. They're all great kids, and they all really care.
And then a guy like August Salvati, my bad, has really flown onto the scene, and his natural explosiveness and athleticism has shined throughout campus. He's constantly making plays, constantly getting to the quarterbacks, and he's killing the bag drills. That poor bag. But how do you think you're going to be able to game plan with a guy like him into really being able to show that on Saturdays?
First thing is August is a great human being. He's been through so much in his life. His mother, his sister, and his uncle have been so supportive. Going through the whole recruitment process with him was awesome, and I loved recruiting him. I felt special when he decided to come here, and with him, he's just such a hard worker. Like the kid wakes up earlier than I do. It's towards like the 3, 4, 5 a.m. times, and he goes in and he wants to work out extra with Joey. He wants to watch extra tape with Coach Brady or GA. He's always, craving more football, which is really special to be around. Sometimes you have to force feed football onto people, and sometimes they just want more and more. And he's a guy that's been taking everything in with stride. Like I said, he's still a young guy when it comes to his development. He's a guy that bounced around a couple different JUCOs, and being now around a program like this with the coaches that we have here, this is really his first time being on the straight and narrow path. And all it is, you know, channeling that effort now into one direction. He wants to do a lot right now. And he wants to do a lot, he wants to perform, but he's just got to learn how to do his job, and we'll get him there come game one.
We've been building a culture out here, and it's definitely a culture of excellence across the board. But with your position group, being able to have guys like August and Wilkie who either want to wake up really early to work out or they're going to be bugging you all practice about questions, how have you seen just these guys all mesh together into elevating each other as a whole room?
You know, I heard one time a coach speak about competitiveness versus combativeness, and I think our room is really competitive with each other. They all want to play. They all want to be number one. They all never want to come off the field. But they also all want the best for each other too. Like, they all coach each other really hard. They all hold each other to a really high standard. When one of them messes up, they all take it personally. When somebody else does something wrong, like, they all pay for it. And there's no clique, there's no bad ill will about anybody with each other. Sometimes you might hear that with other teams, other programs, other units, about guys trying to backdoor each other, whatever. You know, I feel like our guys are really tight-knit together, and they all know that it takes every single one of them. You know, for example, like Tom Sledge, Alex Kosher, and Christian Parison, like, those are my 3 walk-ons that do a great job. You know, they've done a great job getting us ready all summer. They can take 4 or 5 reps out here, and, you know, all of our guys that are still repping like 20, 30 plays are still getting so fired up for them when they do go out there and make a play because of how hard they work. I think that just speaks to the culture of what, you know, we're trying to build in there.
Coach, we talked about a few guys already in the ed group, but is there anybody in particular to you that has stood out through just their progression in training camp alone so far?
You know, I'm really excited about Chisholm. He's just such a guy, like, again, going and Craven football, and the guy has really grown up. Like, talk about another guy who's super mature. He came on his visit. His mom, his dad, his sister, they were awesome people. His dad's like a freaking engineer. His mom's a pharmaceutical. So they're like really, really bright people, and so, you know, structured, so demanding. And when Chisholm got here, it was a whirlwind coming from Pennsylvania and really like middle of nowhere, and growing up in Philly, coming down and getting used to this heat. So he's had to adjust in so many ways. But the thing I love about Chisholm the most is, like, you tell him something one time and then he gets it right the next time. And, like, constantly coming in and saying, what do I need to do better? And it's not just, you know, checking a box, because a lot of guys like to do that, you know, hey, ask your coach what you can do to get better. Like, he really comes in and is so hard on himself. And, you know, part of that is getting him to, you know, have that sense of confidence too. And I think that summer with Coach Joey, like, Joey and his staff did a great job with all of our guys. And you could just tell by the energy at practice how different it is. Like, that's a testimony to Joey and what his guys were able to do with them. And Chisholm's like one of the finer products that he was able to produce. Chisholm's one of the strongest guys on our team, pound for pound. But he's not just a weight room powerlifter guy. He's now turning into a really good football player. And, you know, he has aspirations of playing pro football one day. My goal is to get him there.
Anyone else?
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks,
you.
guys.